he was one of the first investors in Bitcoin and is the CEO of Bitcoin.com. He's such a vocal advocate for cryptocurrencies, he's earned the nickname Bitcoin Jesus. He told me why digital currencies are, as he says, a powerful innovation.
There's no one single place that any government or corporation or anybody at all could go to shut these cryptocurrencies down or turn them off or block them or censor them. And so that's a really, really powerful innovation, because before the invention of Bitcoin, you would have to get permission. If I wanted to send money from one country to another, or even within a country, I'd have to get permission from my bank. I'd have to get permission from the other person's bank. The banks would have to get permission from the various governments in the countries they're in. Now, thanks to the invention of Bitcoin, anyone, anywhere in the world can send and receive any amount of money with anyone else instantly, basically for free. And there's absolutely nothing anyone can do to block those payments or freeze those payments or control it in any way. And that's a really, really powerful tool for all of humankind, and gives everybody more control over their own money, which I think is a great thing.
No question it's powerful for just the reason you described, because it's outside of any government control. That's right. Is that powerful quality also part of its weakness in this sense? It also leaves it open to be used for illicit purposes, whether it's money laundering or drug dealing or potentially terrorist activities. And does that mean that governments sooner or later will want to try to interfere with this, get control of it for just that reason?
Well, I think there's two parts to that answer there. So number one, the currency that's used for the most drug dealing and the most terrorist financing and the most bad things around the world clearly is the U.S. dollar. So if you're really worried about those sorts of things, you better be worried about the U.S. dollar. But at the same time, governments all over the world, what do? They look for the businesses or the people that have money, and they look for a way to take a portion of it. So it won't be any different with Bitcoin. Now that Bitcoin has this giant amount of traction and usage and huge market cap, and they're over $12,000 each now, of course governments are going to want to take a portion of that. But the exciting part about Bitcoin is that it makes it much, much more difficult for them to have control over that. And if you're someone who believes in economic freedom and believes that people should have control over their own money, it's a great thing that governments are going to have a harder time controlling what people do with their own Bitcoins.
Roger, as you know well, we're about to have some government regulation, not of the cryptocurrencies themselves, but of futures trading in it. But just about to happen. We're on the cusp of it right now. In your estimation, understanding this entire world, what effect will that have on, for example, Bitcoin? Will it make it more valuable, less valuable? What will happen?
So the more utility anything has, the more valuable it becomes. So this obviously makes Bitcoin more valuable, and it also make it so the prices don't fluctuate as wildly as they have in the past, because people will be able to trade on these future markets, and that'll help dampen down the volatility. And if the volatility is dampened down a bit, it makes it even more useful in commerce. So it's this virtuous reinforcing cycle that makes it more and more useful. And the more useful it is, the more people will use it. And the more people that are using it, the more useful it becomes. So it's this fantastic circle.
People who are not as familiar with cryptocurrencies tend to think of it as being Bitcoin. Of course, it's not just Bitcoin. There's a Bitcoin Cash. There's different kinds of Bitcoin. There's also different kinds of cryptocurrencies entirely, like Ethereum. Could you explain what is the real difference, for example, between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash? Why should we care?
So you definitely should care about the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So I was the first person in the entire world to start investing in Bitcoin startups and getting involved in the space. The Bitcoin that I got involved with let you send any amount of money with anyone, anywhere in the world instantly, basically for free. That's no longer true of Bitcoin or Bitcoin Core. Bitcoin split into two versions of Bitcoin back on August 1st. There's now Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash. And Bitcoin Cash still allows you to do all the things that Bitcoin allowed you to do back in 2011, 2012, all the way up until around 2016. Bitcoin Core now costs about $5 every single time you want to use it, and the utility is really being undermined. So I've actually sold the majority of my Bitcoin Core coins recently and bought more Bitcoin Cash. And if you look at the price of each over the last several months, Bitcoin Cash has significantly outperformed Bitcoin Core. And if you look at the businesses around the world, they're scrambling to adopt Bitcoin Cash because it provides for a good user experience. So I'm really concerned with the markets right now. The price of Bitcoin Core is going crazy. But I think it's a lot of people that don't understand the utility behind it and are buying it just because they see the price going up, and they're chasing something without understanding it. Whereas the people that actually understand the utility that is underneath all of these things are really bullish on Bitcoin Cash. And I'm definitely one of those people that's bullish on Bitcoin Cash.
Okay, so finally, to just that point, Bitcoin Core right now is over $12,000 last time I checked. And it seems to be going up and up and up. Where's it going to be in a year? Are people going to discover that it's not as useful as you just described, and therefore will it come down significantly?
I think it might go up a lot more from where it is right now because people love to chase bubbles. So it might go to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 before there's a significant correction. It's really hard to know.